Welcome back to the Arbitrary YouTube channel. Today's class we'll be learning how to make this asymmetric one side boubou dress. Okay, so it has one side fitted as we have seen, while the other side is loosely fitted. It's a very simple tutorial and it's beginner friendly. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so this is an asymmetric one side boubou. So to fold your fabric, I just did an illustration here. One side is in form of a full boubou while the other side is fitted. So the measurements that you're going to need, so we're going to assume this to be the center back. The measurements for the side with the full boubou is going to be your center back to where you want it to stop. Okay, so for me that's around 28 inches, and then the one for the off shoulder part, that's the one without the boubou, it's going to be from here, that's the center back, to usually your bicep area, which in this case is 14 inches for me. Okay, so now we know that one is going to get to or almost your wrist, while the other stops around your bicep area. So now, and I have put a measurement to it, we have 28 inches here and we have 14 inches here. So to fold your fabric, you're going to fold your fabric into two like this, cutting both the front and back together. So I first folded my fabric into two, and after folding into two, you're going to measure your 14 inches. So from here I'm measuring 14 inches and then I'm adding 1 inch to it. Okay, so to know the amount of fabric to fold, you just need to add your 14 inches to 28 inches. So 28 plus 14 is going to give me around 42 inches or thereabouts. 28 plus 14, yes, I think 42 inches, which means that on fold now, this fabric, the whole of this fabric have to be 42 inches. Okay, so now from the 42 inches, which is the whole of the fabric, if you want to add allowance to it, you can add maybe 2 inches allowance to make it 44 inches. And if you don't want to add allowance, you may decide to just work with your 42 inches. So now we have one side which is 14 inches. So from this 42 inches, you're going to measure that 14 inches. So I'm going to assume that 14 inches is going to be from the center here all the way to this part. So once you have your 14 inches, what you just need to do now is to fold it on that point like this. So after folding it, this becomes your center front and center back. So now I'll label it the center fold. Okay, so this one side here is going to be the one with the short hand, while this other side here is going to be the one with the long hand. I hope you understand the folding now. So now I have my fabric folded like that already. I have 14 inches here plus 1 inch. We made it 15 inches with some allowance, and you can see the other ones that I have there is the one for the long length. So now to take my measurement, now I'm going to remember the one, even the one with the short length, which is this, is in form of a kimono. Okay, that's why we have it 14 inches. You can also measure it like this by measuring your shoulder from your shoulder, then after taking your shoulder measurement, to take your bicep measurement and add them together. So that's why we have the 14 inches there. So let me just shift this and work on the smaller one first. So now I have my 14 inches. The next measurement I'm going to take, just like we cut out our normal kimono, is going to be my sleeve opening. Okay, so how wide you want it to be, but you should work with your round bicep measurement. You don't want that to be too tight. So for me, the round bicep that I'm working with is around 14 inches. Okay, so 14 inches there by 2 is going to give me 7. So I'm going to add 1 inch for ease 8, and then 1 inch as my seam allowance. That's going to leave it at around 9 inches. But I'm still going to do a shoulder slope. So let's just take our neckline measurement first. So tentatively, I'm going to be working with a neck width of 8 inches here. Okay, I'm still going to reshape that. I hope this is visible enough. So I have 3 inches here for my neck width. So for the neck depth, I'm going to just leave it at maybe 1 inch so that I can reshape it later, or 2 inches. Okay, and then I'll connect it. So now for my shoulder slope here, I'm going to measure 1.5 inches, and using my ruler I'm going to connect that to my neck point here. So after creating that, now I'm going to measure my sleeve opening of the 9 inches, which is here. And then to shape this, remember that side is shaped, I'm going to take my armhole measurement, okay, my tentative arm measurement, so you can actually maintain what you have here, which now becomes 10 and a half. Remember we went down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope. So on this mark now, I'm going to take my bust measurement. The bust is 44 divided by 4 is 11. So I have 11 inches here, plus seam allowance, or even each allowance, you can add like 1.5 inches there. And then if you want to shape the waistline as well, you take your waist measurement. The half length that I'm working with is 18 inches, and then I have 18 inches here, and the waist is 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches, plus half an inch is, that's going to leave me with 9.5. And then I'm going to add 1 inch for my seam allowance. Okay, so from there now I'm going to connect it like this. So from there you take your hip measurement. The hip is 26, the hip line is 26, and at that point I'm working with a hip of 46 inches. 46 divided by 4 is going to give me 11.5. So 11.5 plus half an inch is going to be 12, and then I'm going to add 1 inch seam allowance to that. So I'm just going to connect that now and take it down. I hope this is visible enough. Okay, so for the sleeve opening here, I'm just going to make a curve for it not to be too sharp, so you can see me blending it in like this. So now the part that is going to be fitted is done. Now the next thing is for us to cut it out. You can actually, so when you're cutting this out, remember it's on fold here, so you raise it up. You're not going to cut it together with the one underneath it. What I mean is this. So let's say this is the measurements we have done so far, and we have it like this. So when you want to cut it out, you are not going to cut together with the one underneath. You're just going to raise it up like this, and then you are going to cut out just the one without the shoulder. So this is what we have. I can now cut out your neckline, so that by the time you open it up, you can see this side is going to be fitted, while this side is going to be the one with the boubou. So now after this, the next thing is for us to shape it into our off shoulder pattern that we want. And then here I'm going to go down for my shoulder slope and connect it separately as well. I hope you understand that. Okay, so now I'm raising it up like this, and then I'm going to cut it. So I'm being very careful because I'm working with a chiffon fabric, and chiffon fabric can shift a lot, so I'm just taking my time. So now here you're going to curve it to your sleeve opening because you don't want it sharp. So because this part is on fold, I'm just going to open it up like this. So for the shoulder slope now, I'm going to just cut the temporary neckline that I have there. You can see me cutting it, and then I'm going to cut out my shoulder slope. So you can notch your center front, so that by the time you open it out to shape your neckline, it's going to make the work easier for you. So I've notched it there. So here I'm connecting and cutting out my shoulder slope. Okay, so it's cut out now. For the other one as well, I'm going to go down by 2 inches in this case, and then connect it to the neck point so that I can cut out the shoulder slope as well. So I've opened it up now. The next thing is for me to go down by 2 inches here. You can also do 1.5, but because it's wider, that's why I'm doing 2 inches. And then I'm going to connect it to the neck point. It's quite big, I hope you can see it. So this is the neck point, and then I'm going to connect it like that and cut out the shoulder slope as well. So here again, I'm going to cut out my sleeve opening. I cut out the sleeve opening by measuring the area where this is going to stop, which is here. So here I'm taking the measurement very loosely, and I have around 11 inches. So 11 inches divided by 2 is going to give me 5.5, and then I'm going to add 1 inch seam allowance to that, and that's going to leave me with 6. Remember, we're going to sew it here and here, or even 7 inches. So connecting it there, I'm just going to make a curve now, and then just connect it straight down So I'm making this cuff so that the sleeve opening is going to be so obvious. By the time we cut it out now, you will see it better. So I'll just connect it all the way down like that. So I'm just trying to make it bolder. I hope you can see this. By the time I cut it out, you're going to see it. What I did was just measure my round sleeve, measure it here as well with allowance, and I just curved it straight down, and then I'm going to cut it out. So I've cut it out now. You can see I just shaped it like this and then cut it straight down. So the last thing to do now is just to reshape your neckline. Remember, one side is an off shoulder, so I'm just turning it like this so that we can see it better. And I've held it with pin because it's a chiffon fabric, so I'm just going to arrange it well. Okay, so just like I laid it out now, I remember I notched my center front, so this is going to be my center front. I'm going to use this marker because my chalk is not so visible on the chiffon fabric. So remember, I've already marked out 1.5 inches from it, so now I want it to be around 4 to 5 inches deep. So this is going to be my neck depth right there. So the next thing for the off shoulder, remember we just used 3 inches for our depth, which is very not wide. So for the off shoulder, on my shoulder area now, I'm going to measure around 5 inches because I want it really off. If you don't want yours to be that off, you can just measure 3 to 4 inches. So I'm measuring 5 inches like that, and then on the 5 inches you can go down by 2 inches, or you just connect it like that. So the way you're connecting is from your shoulder here. You can use your curve. I'm going to use my free hand. From the shoulder of the other one, I'm going to connect to my neck depth, which is here, and then from there I'm going to connect it to the off shoulder part, which is here. Okay, so this is what I have, so that by the time you wear it, it's just going to drop down like this. So after connecting everything like this, I'm going to come in with my scissors and then cut it out. So I'm changing the location of my pin now, so that by the time I cut it, it does not fall apart, because like I said, the fabric I'm working with is very slippery. So here now, coming in with my scissors, and then I'm going to cut this neckline. So you can cut a facing for your neckline, or use a bias to turn it. I'm going to be using a bias. So cutting it out now, this is what I'm going to have by the time I wear it. This is going to be really off, but if you don't want yours to be this off, you know what to do. So now this is what I have. The next thing is for you to go ahead to the sewing machine, join it on the shoulders together, and then you join it on your sleeve. Then after joining it on the sleeve, I'm going to hem the sleeve opening and then turn the neckline with me. Okay, so I'm gonna head to join it on the shoulder as well as the side, and you can see that I hemmed it on the sleeve opening on both sides. So this is what it looks like. You can see that the neckline is a form of an asymmetric. We have one on the shoulder while the other one is off the shoulder, and then one side is fitted. As we have seen, you can see that it is fitted to the body, while the other side is just like a boubou. So you can see that this side is loosely fitted. It's just like a regular boubou dress that we have. So this is what it looks like on a full view. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful dress with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.